All right,
All right.
man. Last question. All right. For you growing up, there wasn't a lot of representation of Asian Americans. Some
Yes.
representation of Asians, but it's mainly stereotyped, but not like a real representation of what it's like. You got the Bruce Lees, the Jackie Chans, that type of stuff. But like, what was it like for you growing up without, seeing that representation?
I guess it makes you feel like you're not part of the culture, you know? Like everybody's can see themselves on TV. Like white people can see white people on TV, black people can see black people on TV, Spanish people can see Spanish people on TV. But you really didn't see Asian people on TV. And when you did see it, it was like extreme stereotypical, like Hong Kong Fooey type shit, where with the extreme mustaches and the extreme eyes. So the people that they put on screen, other than Bruce Lee, like you didn't want to emulate them, you know. And even with Bruce Lee, like as amazing as he is, people still found ways to ridicule him, like with the what the and all that. Yeah, like people say, "Oh no, I'm just giving respect. If that's what he did." No, you try to ridicule the man for doing that, you know. So even though we did have some type of somebody that we could see on screen, but he was still being ridiculed, like being made fun of the way he talked and stuff. Uh, I don't know. Nobody made fun of the way Chuck Norris talked. Nobody made fun of the way Van Damme talked, you know. And whoa, why that? Why that? You know what I'm saying? That's just my opinion, you know. And even when he fought
Right.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, you know, like nobody complained that nobody's made fun of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar saying he looked like a freaking robot next to Bruce Lee in the movie. You know what I'm saying? Like, but meanwhile, everybody was harping on what the, you know. So yeah, growing up in this culture, we us as Asians, we didn't really get to see ourselves like that, you know.
What has it been like for you becoming an actor and helping change those mainstream stereotypes about Asians, though?
That I do try that. Like I would never like I would never take a role where I have to ridicule my own race or like do any of those. I don't want to say racial things, jokes or whatever. Like I want to make my peoples look good. I want people when they say, "Oh shit, look at this guy. Yo, he kind of cool." You know, don't say, "Oh, he kind of cool for an Asian dude." I fucking hate that shit. When motherfuckers tell me, "Yo, damn, you kind of fly for an Asian dude." What the fuck you mean I'm kind of fly for an Asian dude? Well, Asian dudes ain't fly. Fuck out of here. I want you to say, "Yo, you a fly motherfucker." Regardless of what I am. You know what I'm saying? When they say, "Oh, you speak pretty good English for an Asian dude," what? You speak pretty good English too, motherfucker. That's not your language either, motherfucker. But you speaking good. You don't see me telling you you speak good English. Why? Because I'm Chinese. I speak good English because I could talk English. Get the fuck out of here. So yeah, no, I'm very sorry about that rant. Sorry about that rant.
No, no, no. I mean, it's dope that you're passionate about it, right? Because like you've seen Asians in mainstream media be tough if they're doing martial arts, but you haven't really necessarily seen like gangster, like tough motherfuckers really, outside of some like still like stereotypical ones. So like I feel like
Yeah.
you at least get to be kind of more of that machismo because a lot of times I think mainstream America has painted Asians to be more feminine or weak or like just all the different things, right?
I see. Yeah, yeah, and it's so crazy that that this image is painted of us. I don't even know where that shit originated from. But I'll give you a good example. In that movie, Romeo Must Die. If it was anybody else but Jet Li, let's say it was Denzel that saved Aaliyah, or it was Kevin Costner that saved Aaliyah, they would have rode off into the sunset, got married, had mixed colored babies and everything. But what Jet Li got? Jet Li got a little dap and a hug. Fuck out of here. Look, that alone will tell you how they view Asian men. The man saved your fucking
Bro,
life.
all she said was, "Come on, let's go." That's
Come
all
on,
she
come on.
said.
Let that have been Denzel. Let that have been Van Damme. Part two would have been their kids running around doing all this other shit. You know what I'm saying? But meanwhile, with Jet Li is like, all right, good looking. And then, did I give you a tip for that? You know what I'm saying? Yo, can I get extra duck sauce with that? Like, they didn't even treat him like the hero that he was. They treat him like a fucking
Dim
delivery guy afterwards.
sum.
Yeah, exactly. But, you know, I'm
That's
not
so
blaming the
crazy.
writers of that movie, but that was the perception. Like That was the common perception of Asian men, you know? Like, I think I said this in another interview before, and I've read this through history. You know, one of the one of the reasons why there's so many Chinese dry cleaning businesses in America and so many Chinese takeout restaurants across this country is because not because Chinese people cook better or Chinese people or Asian people clean better, but back in the slavery days, that they didn't allow the darker skinned Africans that were slaves to work inside the house because they didn't trust them around their females. But they looked at Asian men like they looked at us like second class people. Like they didn't feel threatened by our manhood or whatever. So they had us in the house cleaning their clothes, being in the slave masters' clothes, cooking for the slave masters. So when they do abolish slavery and people were given their 40 acres and a mule, the Asian people that were the ones working in the house, how are they going to survive? They're going to survive on what they've known. They've been known for cleaning houses. They've been known for cooking for the whole family. So that's what they pursue. So this is all like derived. When you see all these Chinese restaurants and Chinese laundromats, please know that it's derived from slavery as well. I mean, just do the math. Just do the math. You don't think if they looked at us as a threat, they wouldn't have us out in the fields working in the fields instead of working in the houses? They didn't respect us as men. So it's that mentality, that perception of Asian men has always been there. And for the life of me, I don't know why, but that's the way it is. It could be from the culture of them being taught to stay to themselves and not get in other people's business and shit like that, you know? But I don't know.
What has your overall experience been like in Hollywood in general as a Asian male actor? Like, has it been positive, or you dealt with like those bougie Hollywood types? Like, how's it
No,
been for you?
I've been very fortunate. Every project I've been on, I've been with some cool ass motherfuckers. Like from the director to the PA to the co-stars. Like I've been blessed that I've never ran across any of that in the industry so far, you know. Uh uh maybe maybe for other people or whatever. But you know what? Look at me. I come across as mad aggressive even when I want to be nice. So like even if you don't fucking like me, you're not gonna be in my face be like, yeah, I don't fucking like you. So it's hard to tell sometimes. Sometimes it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell when people walk on eggshells around you your whole life. So it's hard to tell who's who, you know?
Now, you've said that, you know, in the past, like you're not at the part of your career where you could speak out about certain topics that you're really passionate about pertaining to the Asian community because
Yeah,
it's almost like career ending. Like
it
you've
can be.
seen Daniel Day Kim from Hawaii Five
Five
O,
O. Yeah.
he's done it a lot, right? And I remember you saying, "Man, it's going to be hard to cast him after this because people are going to feel away."
Yes, it's very, very true.
So, do you think that this is something that is pertaining specifically to Asians or just in general when you're going against the grain in kind of like any field?
Any field, any field, and any field. If you go against the grain, you're gonna, you know. I mean, in Tokyo Drift, the dude said it best: the nail that sticks up is the nail that gets hammered back down.
There you go. And also you that movie Snakehead, you worked with Sung Kang, right? Because you
Yeah.
just brought up Tokyo Drift. What was it like working with him?
Oh my God, it's so amazing. Like he taught me so much about acting and stuff like that, and uh develop a friendship. And you know, he's a straight up dude. You know, he's a straight up dude. Um, when I was in prison, he came to visit me a few times. You know, so you don't have to do
For
that.
real?
You for real. You met me on set.
Damn.
You met me on set. We met each other on set, and okay, you befriend each other. We befriended each other because we was forced to work with each other because we were on the same project. After you work, you know, you may never see the person again. So, you know, I've had people that I've worked with in the past that I've never seen again that or even talked to. You know, but while he was here, while filming that movie, like stuff that I wasn't as good at in the acting field, he taught me and he kind of coached me through a lot of shit, you know. And we developed a friendship behind that. And we had talked and I had explained to him what happened and why, you know, I have to go to trial and I might have to go to prison and stuff like that. And when he met me with an with an open mind. So he got to know who I really was without reading what the media had written about me already. And he's a real motherfucker. I've known mad people from the streets that if they had half of his integrity, a quarter of his loyalty, they'll be they'll be legends themselves in the gang life or whatever. But he is like, we're like night and day. Like I'm like really bad, but he's like squeaky clean, but he's like the cool squeaky clean. Like and he's a genuine person. You
Right,
know?
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've spoken to a lot of street dudes, and they always say like just because you're from the street doesn't make you real, though. There's a lot of
No, no.
people that are real and are more willing to put their life on the line to protect those that they love than people from the street sometimes. Like
Yeah, 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 yeah.
that's
I
crazy,
mean,
man. But
I
Sung
had
King
gang
has got to
brother.
be like one of the smoothest dudes I've ever seen. Like he's
Yeah,
just like he's
he
cool,
is.
man.
He is. He is like cool and talented. He's very cool, very talented, and very down to earth. Down to earth. I have
Yeah.
We have been to mad places together where we're just hanging out, no media, no nothing. And I have seen him literally stop and take pictures with people for like 10, 15, 20 minutes because he doesn't want to say no to people. And I've been around other actor friends of mine that be like, yo, nah, no pictures, bro. I'm eating, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. But that man always makes times for everybody. No. So, and he wasn't one of those people that somebody put him on. Like he went to L. Like I said, we're really close, so he shared a lot of stories with me. Like he went out to LA on his own, and to pay for his own acting classes. He was helping clean up the acting studio afterwards because he was so passionate about his career. People like that deserve to succeed.
Right, right.
Because you put the work in.
For sure, man. He
Sure.
definitely made his way up. All right, Richie, man, I just want to thank you so much for your time, bro. Is there anything else you
Uh,
want to say to the people before we go ahead and wrap it up? Anything you got coming up soon?
I got a few things in the air, but NDAs prevent me from speaking about it. But if you want to find out more, I leave mad clues on my Instagram. You could follow me on Instagram at the real Richie Ng. That's RICHIENG. And pretty soon I'm gonna come out with my YouTube channel, but not yet. Not yet. Soon, soon. I got a lot of stories to share,
Wait,
but
wait, you got one though. You got one where
I
I saw the poem at.
no, I did that when I first came home, not knowing what I was doing. I'm about to erase that shit too because keeping it real, I was away for a long time, so I didn't know what was hip and what was not. So when I filmed that fucking poem, I put the filter on. I look like I got fucking makeup on in that video. But it was my first video. It was my first video ever. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna keep it up there until somebody says something. But I literally did not know because I see everybody using filters. I was like, let me use a filter. Let me see how I look with this shit on. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I felt weird, but I said, all right, maybe motherfuckers, this is the time for it. So I just left it up. But I'm gonna fix all that shit up. That's the only video with a filter. Never again. Never, never again. But I'm a fit.
Oh shit, wait. So what year did you come home? The first
Yeah,
time?
2010.
2010. So that means that you missed all that technology during that time.
Oh
Cause you
yeah. I came home
wow.
2010 and I went back in 2018. So I didn't even know what a fucking filter was until I came back on. And I hear people say, "Oh, he used a filter, she used a filter." I'm like, "Oh, everybody's using a filter. Fuck it, I want to use a filter too. Let me see." So that fucking video is, I mean, the message is cool, but my fucking face is fucking warped. Once I really get some more content and really start my own channel, that video is getting taken down. Getting taken down. I have to do something to fix it. Anti-filter is the app to anti-filter a picture.
Man, that's hilarious, man.
The,
All right,
yeah.
Richie.
Joe, thank you for having me, bro. Thank you for having me, man. Love what you do, man. Keep it going.